Lay down. Baby girl, lay down. She's probably gonna come over. But anyway, I wanted to do a video tonight. It is my second to last night before I go to Egypt. And I don't know, like today has been a roller coaster of energy, a roller coaster of emotions. Again, it's like by the end of the day, I can feel the excitement. I can feel, again, connected to whatever this is, this desire to go explore something, this want and need to free myself of these fears and limiting ideas that are kind of running the show in some ways. But then you wake up and the next morning, it's already like that uncomfortable fear and uncertainty and realization like this is all happening. I think in some ways it's nice when it's at a distance because it doesn't feel so in your face. But like today, I had to pack and there's stuff that's missing and there's still stuff that I need to do. And then I went over to my cousin's she's going to drop me off at a bus to get a bus to go to JFK to do all these things. And I was starting to feel it. I was like, oh shit, this is like actually happening. So it's giving space to that. Cause again, it's all in there. All of these emotions, all of these feelings, all of the uncertainty, all of the doubt, all of the excitement, these are all in there to experience. I think a lot of the practice is coming back to yourself and realizing that you're none of these emotions, that you're, yes, you can have excitement and you can have fear, but you're not any of these things. So that's kind of been a practice. And honestly, today I've been doing more and more of that. Instead of like sitting so much in the fear, it's like pulling back into myself, pulling back into my breath, pulling back into the present moment. And then also realizing that I'm going to have fear, I'm going to have anxiety, and what feels good is moving. And maybe not so much in the form of exercise, but just keep going, keep going, keep going. Just get these things done. It just feels good to move. So all of that. But now here at the end of the day, we had dinner for going away, me going away essentially. And there's all of my siblings, my parents, and a couple of friends. And now my friends are excited for this, but my family, not at all. And there's a lot of their fear and a lot of resistance in some ways, a lot of, I don't even know if it's like animosity or something. I don't know what else I'm picking up on, but I feel like when you feel uncomfortable about something, in our family, we just make jokes about it. There was plenty of jokes tonight about what do I want written on my headstone. And you just get to a point where I don't even have a response for that. Because normally I'd give like a sarcastic remark and think of something witty to put on my headstone. But it's just like, I got to the point where I did actually kind of snap at some of my family because it was just, I don't know, like, I guess it's too much to ask for them to be excited. And they're allowed their emotions, and they're allowed to feel however they want to feel about it. I guess some of my resentment, resentment has always meant to me a violation of boundary, or that not they are violating, I haven't set one. And I think in some ways it's like learning, because this is not the first time this pattern has ever come up, but it's recognizing that it's popping its head up again. And I get to set a boundary around it. I get to say, like, hey, I know you guys are scared, but I would really love some support right now. And I'm saying this right now, what do they call that? The Monday morning quarterback. But, it's like I'm saying this now. I'd really love some support. And if you can't give me that, I'm excited for this. I can feel that this is something I want to do. And I would really love if you guys could support me on that. Or I guess I can't ask you to feel excited for me, but yeah, I think that's kind of what's coming up for me, is like recognizing that you are on your own trajectory, whatever that happens to be. And if you're anything like me, I used to be somebody, and maybe to some degree still hold that tendency or fall back into that pattern, really is what it is. This groove has been carved out so well worn from years of use. And it's like that I've always looked for somebody else's approval in some ways, that I can tell it's right, or what's right, I don't know, but like maybe right for me. And then you tell somebody about it and they don't see it that way. Maybe they think you're crazy, or maybe, and not like you crazy, no, like, like questioning whether or not they should have you committed, or whatever it happens to be, because it's not the way that they see things. And I think for a long time, especially here in my family, and I love them to death, but I think that's the reason why I've tried to have them understand my point of view. And but it's not a pattern I just hold with them. It's a pattern within me that I hold for a lot of people that I respect, a lot of people that I love, because it's like I can feel inside that it is what I would believe to be correct for me, but still, like, and maybe they don't see it that way, or maybe they disagree, or maybe their conditioning, their patterning, whatever it happens to be, does not allow them to maybe see it my way. But yet it's like I don't want to call it a waste of energy, but in some ways it is, where you're trying to manipulate, in some ways, their beliefs in order to have congruence with yours. And yeah, so I feel like that really was apparent tonight, where I just didn't feel supported. And instead of maybe voicing that boundary, I instead just got resentful, a little snippy, and made my own sarcastic remarks back, or just basically called them out and just said, well, that's because you guys, don't see it my way, or you're not excited for it, or, but it was kind of sassier than what I wanted, maybe in retrospect. But this is how we learn, because this is not, like I said before, this is not a pattern that is new to me, like all of a sudden popped up tonight. No. Heck no. This has been something that I don't want to see dealt with, but yeah, a pattern I've held for most of my life. And with that, it's one, though, that is going to continue to keep coming back up until I can set a firm boundary for myself, or recognize it in the moment of like, oh shit, that's happening again. What can we do to prevent myself from feeling whatever it is that feels uncomfortable, or really just kind of protecting my energy. I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to say here, but yeah, it feels like owning my energy, owning my excitement, owning my experience, and allowing them to have theirs, and not allow them to maybe project onto me their fears, their insecurities. If they can't support me, then at least not project anything onto me. And if I have to, I call, and I'm saying this like it's just them. No, it's a pattern that I've held in my life where um, something was coming through about setting boundaries, but it was almost like not saying no to something. Like you're out at a festival or something like that. You're at a vendor's table and they're trying to sell you on whatever, and you're just like, maybe I'll come back and take a look at it, even though you deep down inside know it's a no. Like you're probably never going to. But it's almost like you still hold this energetic thread in some ways instead of just cutting it off. But where was I going with that? I don't remember, but there was something about setting firm enough boundaries and closing that loop in some ways, maintaining your energetic, I don't want to call it distance, but yeah, your own energetic bubble, and letting them keep theirs. Recognizing when people are trying to place things upon you that isn't yours. If you don't actually feel that way, if you actually feel excited, maybe even a little nervous too, own your own energy, find your own energy. Yeah, I'd say that's kind of a good recap of tonight. I feel like something else did come up too. Oh, yeah, I remember. There was a little bit of, I've talked about this before in other videos, not recently. You'd have to go back and, oh geez, I wouldn't even know when it was. I was living in Mount Shasta. I remember it coming up then. So whenever that was, probably August of whatever year that was. So go back, take a look at some videos. But this pattern also comes up about, it almost feels like I'm a teenager again. But when people try to project their fears on me, and instead of once again, setting a boundary of like, oh, well, I see that you're afraid, but I'm not going to do that. So what I'm getting at is a couple times people will ask me to send a permanent location update or call them with whatever, but I need to call every day, or I need to send them the addresses of, all these things. And I know in theory, all of these things are probably safe practices, but for some reason in my system, it feels like a violation. And it doesn't feel like the freedom, if you will, that I'm looking to experience within myself. And I feel like there's also a component of I'm showing myself that I can trust myself and trust whatever's happening around me. And to do these things, I don't think is also giving that message of trusting myself. So I say all that because that kind of popped up again tonight. And again, I didn't have the right words for it, but now with time pulling away from it, and once again, it is a pattern. Like I said, go back and look at that video, but it happens more times than probably a few times a year, and maybe unbeknownst to me, once a month or something. But it's that sense of like learning when there's maybe a violation of a boundary, but also learning when other people are projecting things upon you. And with all of that, learning your response to these things. Yeah, you can get snippy like I did tonight. You can also act like, I'll call it like a teenager, and just be like, I'm not going to, and watch me as I don't do it. That's kind of like my little attitudinal take on it. But there's like this component of wanting to fight back because I haven't set the boundary for myself. And I don't need to fight back. I just need to set better boundaries. I was going to say speak the words. But yeah, just basically say I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I feel the opposite, or that doesn't feel good in my system, or whatever it happens to be, in order for you to feel like you have a good enough boundary that you don't need to get snippy, snooty, snotty. So I'd say that was kind of I don't want to say that was a synopsis of tonight. Tonight was a beautiful night and we had a great time, and I made a lot of sourdough pizza, which was delicious. But yeah, I was kind of stewing here a little bit more on this. And this is kind of a channel of seeing patterns, living life and seeing patterns in it, seeing the ways that you respond to things. And because life is going to do, I believe that everything and everyone is put here in order for you to heal. Heal whatever, not sure. But, as I've alluded to in many videos and podcasts, it's like, I feel we are just this one thread of our own authentic energy. And somehow along the lines, we've, weaved and sewed up all of the exterior that looks like us. But it's not really us. We are our authentic thread, I keep calling it. And it's like learning to tap into that, and also learning how to, in some ways, unravel some of the other stuff that we've created throughout the years, created to make it our current reality. Well, I can't do that because that's not who I am, or that makes me uncomfortable. Well, why does that make you uncomfortable? Getting to take a look at things. And when people say certain things or people do certain things, also getting to take a look at them. So with that, yeah, it's about taking a step back and getting curious and realizing that all of these things, every single day, is put here so that we can learn more about ourselves. And yeah, so tonight included. Having dinner with my family included. Definitely included. And tomorrow, the day before I leave for Egypt, I'm sure there's going to be more and more things coming up of like, I'm not ready, and I'm not, there's going to be so much uncertainty, so much fear. And maybe there's not. Maybe it's just going to be a beautiful day and I've let it all go. But every day is a chance to get to know yourself just a little bit better, to really tap into the person that's on the inside, if you so choose to take a look at it. So with that, I'm tired. So I think I'm going to go veg for the duration, maybe meditate a little bit, because I never got to do that today. And oh boy, guys, oh boy, it's like 36 hours until I leave. It's crazy. It's so crazy. I am excited. I kind of have like this calm realization of like, this is happening. And I don't know. I feel like, not to sound cliche, but I am stepping into a new chapter. And I don't know how to plan for it, and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm coming back here. I don't know if I'm going to keep traveling. Am I going to stay there? I have no idea. I don't know what's going to happen. And I think there's a part of me, I don't actually know. No, I'm just like in this calm realization of realizing that a big shift is about to happen. It already has happened, but another one is about to happen. And yeah. So in some ways, I did it all today. Well, not all, but a good portion of today, like when I was making my sourdough pizza dough, I was on a list, if you will. I got to get this done, this. But at some point I stopped and I go, what if this is the last time you're making sourdough pizza? Or what if it's the last time that you're making anything sourdough here? Or what if, so I'm trying to enjoy these last 36 hours, the last time I sleep in my bed here with Layla, my dog, or not my dog, my parents' dog, but she's kind of become mine. And, the last time I get to prepare tea, the last time I get to go hang out with these people, the last time I get to water all these plants. You know, it's like just taking a breath, and maybe this isn't the same for you guys. You know, maybe you guys aren't traveling around the world, but I don't know, look at it like that maybe this is the last time you'll get to see, not like you're dying or something, but the last time you'll get to do this in the month of March, or the last time you'll get to do, I don't know, the last little bit of cold weather. Yeah, everybody's ready for spring and ready for hot weather and wet, or at least warmer weather. And it's like, what does it feel like to just like enjoy these last couple of days of winter, or whatever it happens to be, just like slowing down and really absorbing it. So either way, that's just what I've been doing. And with that, I am gonna go because I am tired. So I will see you guys tomorrow in some capacity as I continue to pack and get ready for this next leg. So thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for being here with me. And I will see you in the next video.